Hey everybody, it's Elisa with Momtastic Life, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. So this is a bake with me video, and I am super excited for what we are making today. It is pumpkin sour cream coffee cake. Does that not sound absolutely delicious? I have been wanting to make this recipe for probably since the beginning of the year, and I've been holding off because I keep thinking like pumpkin is a fall thing. I have to wait till Halloween at least, or September at the very least. And today I was like, you know what? In this house, it is fall today. We're doing it. I'm super excited. It's going to be delicious. I really hope it's delicious. Anyway, let's turn around, look at our ingredients, and get to baking. All right, you guys, so here's a quick overview of the ingredients. It's not a whole lot of things, which is nice, but there are two parts to this recipe, the actual coffee cake and the streusel topping, which in my opinion, like anything with the streusel topping, yes, please, love it. All right, so first we have some sour cream, 3 eggs, milk. I think it's only about a cup, but this one is just about empty, and it requires whole milk, so no substitutions here. A can of pumpkin, which I love. Vanilla, as usual. This takes both baking powder and baking soda, so it should be nice and fluffy. Pumpkin pie spice, you guys. I mean, come on, deliciousness. And cinnamon, yes please, and a whole lot of butter. We have a stick and a half in the base of the actual coffee cake, and a stick and a half for the streusel topping. I mean, already three sticks of butter. This is going to be good. Salt. Okay, and here, if you saw the grocery haul where I brought this home, ultra fine pure cane sugar. So the recipe called for extra fine sugar, and this is all I could find, even online. So we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that it's basically the same thing. And the difference between ultra fine or extra fine and regular sugar is that the ultra fine or the extra fine tends to dissolve quicker and easier. So if you're making like a sweetened tea or something, if you use the finer sugars, it will dissolve easier, and the same into baked goods. So I've never baked with this kind of sugar before, so we'll see. Flour, big tub of flour, and then just some nonstick spray, and this is just the baking one for our pan. So here we go. And you are going to need a 9 by 13 inch pan to bake this in, and also a stand mixer or electric mixer if you've got one. All right, let's get started. Okay guys, so we're gonna get started, and the first thing we need to do, can you hear the beep? I did the first thing. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Get that out of the way, and then we'll start. So first they want us to grease our pan, so I'm gonna use some of the baking spray to do that. Okay, I don't know if you can see how thick this comes out, and I don't know if that's how it's supposed to come out, but it always seems to be like so much. So what I tend to do is spray the pan, and then I'll take like a paper towel and just kind of spread it up the sides, because I just feel like, who needs that much spray? I don't know, it just seems like, you know, compared to say the regular pan that I would use for cooking, this comes out in gallons, and that just comes out in a fine mist. So we're just gonna spread this spray around here. And this is my preference. If you're like, I'm all about the thick baking spray, spray on, baby. No big deal. This is just my preference. Okay. All right. So we are substantially greased and ready to go. We are going to set this aside. And the first part of this recipe is to make the streusel topping. So that's what we will do. In here I have 2 cups of flour. To that I am going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Cinnamon smells so good. Throw that in there. And we need 1 1/3 cups of our ultra fine pure sugar. So pour this in here. All right, here is 1 cup going in, and 1/3. And for those of you who have been around, you know I like my big containers for my flour and sugar. But for this, I'm going to leave it in here because A, if I put it in another container, I would probably confuse the sugars, unless I label them, of course. And I don't know that many other recipes call for the ultra fine, so I won't be in it as much. So we shall see. And lastly, of all that butter, we took 1 1/2 sticks of the butter, melted it, and look at that. We're gonna pour this in. Oh man. And we just mix this up with a fork until it gets crumbly. Okay, so this looks good. Everything is completely mixed in, and it is crumbly, but it's not like a dry crumbly. It's a moist crumbly. Okay, moist. People feel some kind of way about that word sometimes. What do you think? I know, random interjection, but like because it's not so dry, it keeps some of the crumbles stuck together, so you'll have those bigger chunks on top of your coffee cake, which personally I love. And there's a lot of it, so this is going to be good. So we're all done mixing this up, and now we just set it aside until we are ready to use it. Okay, now on to making the base, the coffee cake itself. All right, so we're ready to start our base, and I've pre-measured out my flour here. It's 3 cups. And I just want to mention that when you are measuring flour, it is super easy to take your measuring cup and put it into whatever container or the bag where your flour is and take it out that way. However, what happens is that the flour gets packed in there and you'll get more flour than the actual cup because it will be pressed in there. So I recommend you taking a spoon or something and just spooning it. I know it seems like a little extra step and silly, but when you're baking, your measurements really need to be precise. And what happens if you get too much flour? Maybe not much, but actually, depending on your recipe, it could alter the recipe because it's a very scientific type of thing when you're baking. Now, when you're cooking, and I can't give very good cooking advice because cooking is not my thing, but I am fairly sure that you could just throw in, taste, figure out what you like, and it's a different deal. But don't quote me on that. I'm not known for my cooking by any means. All right, so we'll put this here. And moving on. So like I said, we have 3 cups of flour. To that, we are going to add a tablespoon of the pumpkin pie spice, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add everything right in there and mix it up. And I just grabbed a whisk because it's right in front of me. You can use a spoon or a fork or whatever you like. And this smells delicious, you guys. The pumpkin pie spice. All right, and speaking of fall, are you guys team pumpkin or team gingerbread? Or both? I actually love both. My mom is team gingerbread for the most part. I will lean more towards pumpkin, but I won't turn anything away either. All All right, so this is all combined. We are going to set it aside. There's lots of setting aside in this recipe. And bring in the bad boy. All right, we have our electric mixer with the paddle attachment. And this is where the fun begins. All right, so let's see. Into this bowl starts our butter, the other 1.5 sticks that we have. We're gonna throw this right in. And this butter has been sitting out on my counter for a good 2 hours or so. It's nice and soft. Yeah, I get up in the morning and I pull the butter out of the fridge and I just let it hang out until I'm ready to use it. All right, butter done. Done and done. And our sugar, more sugar, let's see. Boop, 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 2 cups. 2 cups of our extra fine, where's my measuring cup? That would be so handy. Here we go. 2 cups of sugar. So we are still using the ultra fine sugar I have here. We use that for the whole recipe, not just the topping. All right. 1 and 2. I'm totally making a mess on the counter, you guys. Can you see it? Like all of this is like a little sugar ring from around where my measuring cup was. That's okay, man. I'm a sweetie. I'm also incredibly cheesy. Okay, so here we have it, and we are going to beat this now until it's nice and smooth and fluffy. All right, the butter and the sugar are fully combined. It is nice and fluffy and ready for our next ingredients, which will be our 3 eggs. And here we have them. Here we have them, folks. All right. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I'm gonna lift this up so I don't miss, because that would be poor. 1. Woo! That was close. 2. And last one. All right, all good. We are going to combine these before we add our next ingredients. Fantastic. I don't think you guys can see this, but it's like this creamy, yellow, pretty thing. Okay, next comes vanilla. And in this, you guys, we use an entire tablespoon of vanilla. So that's going to give it a nice, rich flavor. So 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Is my hand over it? That's very productive. Okay. There we go. The pumpkin, right? It is a pumpkin sour cream coffee cake. And this is just a 14? Oh my gosh, the glasses. I should know better, guys, really. 15-ounce can. Usually in the store, there's this size, and then there's like a jumbo, huge size. So a 15-ounce can of pumpkin, we're going to use the entire thing. Actually, I'm going to put this up so I don't pour it on the counter. any goodness out of this can and into my bowl. All right, good to go. And lastly, we are going to add our sour cream, and it's 1/3 of a cup. So I don't know about you guys, but I actually like sour cream. I grew up eating, like for a snack, sour cream with blueberries in it, and the tart of the sour cream and the sweet of the blueberry together is freaking delicious. Which, why am I stuck to my counter? Good question. Which reminds me, I actually have a bunch of blueberries in the fridge and more sour cream, so that may just be lunch. You guys, I must have spilled, oh, I bet I dropped like some egg white drippings, and now I am sticking to my counter whenever I lean against it. The fun never ends. All right, sour cream, and now we're gonna combine all of this. Looking good. It smells really good. I don't know, I like the smell of pumpkin though, so that might be particular to me, that I think it smells good. But it smells good. Okay, next week we will our, oh my goodness, hello, language. Our flour and cinnamon and baking powder, soda, salt mixture. We're gonna grab this and we are going to add it to the mix, to the mixer thing. That is a very technical term, by the way. Alternately with our milk. And here we have measured out 1 cup of milk. Okay, so we're going to start with the flour. And this will take a couple of minutes because we're going to have to keep starting and stopping. Add some flour in there. Combine this. And then when this is combined, we will stop it. We will add some milk, combine, and keep going back and forth until all of the flour and all the milk are completely gone and incorporated. Okay, it's all mixed up. I will lift this up so you can get a view. And if you're wondering why I didn't stop the blender to pour in the milk and I did stop the blender to pour in the flour, it is a personal preference. I have no problem pouring a liquid in while it is running, but I just feel like when I go to get the flour in, I need more space to maneuver the bowl and get the dry ingredients in there. But again, it's a personal preference. If you are like super skilled at this, or you're like, yeah, I'm not stopping this thing, let's just move on, you're totally welcome to put the flour in while this is mixing, okay? Up to you, man. This is your kitchen, your game. All right, so here we have it. I have a spoon. I'm going to scrape our paddle. We're almost done, you guys. It's almost ready for the oven. A lot of these recipes that I do, it's not that they're difficult, but some just take more time than others. But for me, I really enjoy baking for several reasons. One is because it's delicious. Usually most things come out pretty good. But the other is that it's really relaxing and therapeutic for me. I mean, to watch something come together, to have success at it, to just kind of be tooling around in the kitchen, knowing that it's not like I make dinner and I'm trying to feed my family and super worried that, okay, let's not even go there. I'm never super worried when I'm cooking. They either like it or they don't. However, I'm not really concerned about any of that other stuff when I'm baking, because I bake for me and my sanity and relaxation, and it's just a plus that other people enjoy it as well. Okay, so here we go. We are going to release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken!
Release the bowl. Yeah, I don't know where that came from either. And move this over here. Make no mistake, I will be licking the paddle later. That's why it's not going right into the sink. Yep, no shame in my baking game. All right, and I'm just gonna scrape down the sides because there's a little bit of flour that you can see makes a ring around the bowl. So we're just gonna scrape that in and make sure everything is well mixed in well. All right. Oh, this is really a nice batter, you guys. This is going to be good. And now we will grab our previously greased 9x13 baking dish and fill her up. Look at that. I'm so excited for this cake, you guys. I mean, I love baking all things, but I have had my eye on this. This is so up my alley. A coffee cake with pumpkin and like sour cream and the streusel. All right, we'll just smooth it out. And this has got a rather long bake time. It's, I believe, about 45 minutes, which is okay. It'll give me time to get the kitchen cleaned up and do a few things before I have to come back to it. Yes, I will be licking the bowl as well. I will spare you the visual of that, but it will happen. Okay, so now we just add the streusel on top. Give it a quick stir. And this is going to make a nice thick topping. This is no puny amount in here. All right. We are supposed to try and get this into a somewhat even layer. Just kind of flying out of the bowl. That's okay. Let's see. And if you're using your fork or spoon or whatever you're using to kind of even it out on top of the batter, move gently. You don't want to poke it in and drown it. No drowned streusel. Oh geez, guys, it just keeps, you know what it is? I amuse myself sometimes, not on purpose, but I'm just weird like that, kind of dorky, and it is amusing to myself. Anyone else? All right, here we go. Almost completely covered. Such goodness. You can't even see the batter anymore. That's what I'm talking about. recipe, it says to gently press down, gently use your hands and press down on this. So I guess it's like really stuck on there. I don't know where it would go, but that was a fun little voice change. All right. So we will use our fingers and gently press down. All right. Next step, into the oven. All right, so here is what it looks like. Oops. As we're going in. Okay, unbaked. And this is going to go for 40 to 45 minutes in our oven, which, like I said earlier, is 350 degrees. So I'm going to start at 40 minutes and see how it looks. All right, see you when it's done. I know, this angle is super awesome, right? Timer just went off. We're going to pull it out of the oven and check for doneness. Oh, oh, that's so beautiful. Look at that. All right. So we're just going to stick a knife in it, and see if it comes out clean, so we know if it is done. We'll go in it. All right, can you see that? It is almost clean. I think it needs about another minute or two. So we're gonna do that. 2 more minutes. Take 2. All right. All I know is that my kitchen smells so good. All right, let's give it the knife test. You want to poke right in the middle, in the deepest part. All right, it is still a little bit wet inside, but oh no, that's a lot wet. Okay, we will put it back in the oven for another couple of minutes. I'm just doing short spouts of time here because I don't want to overcook it. So back in it goes. All right, I just took it out of the oven after my second rebake, and it's ready. There are some areas that the knife does not come out completely clean, but that's okay because this will continue cooking for a few minutes while it sits up there to cool. And there are other areas where the knife comes out perfectly clean. So I don't want to keep putting it in because then those clean, I'm showing you quote marks with my gloves. I'm so cool. Those clean knife areas will become overcooked. So we're gonna let this sit up here, cook a little more in the pan, cool so I can handle it, and then taste it. I'm really excited, you guys. I really hope this came out good. If nothing else, my house smells good, and if all goes well, we have some fall treatness. Yay! Okay, so we are all cooled off. I was hoping to cut into this while it was warm, but you know what? Life happened, and I had to go do some stuff. So it is completely cool. We're gonna cut into it and see what we've got. Here I am, lurking in the shadows, and taste it because I am just hoping this is going to taste as good as I have imagined it will be for these past few months. And last row. The streusel topping is crunchy, it feels like, and my inside is soft. All right, so here we go. Stay. The knife is running away. Let's see what we've got here. Now this is definitely thick. I need to this looks delicious. All right. Look at that. Right? And this is an end piece. End pieces of anything are not my favorite. I'm not going to be picky. We're going to try it. All right. All right. So I look a hot mess. And it's because I had to go out and run some errands, and it is 106 degrees out. It is hot. And even this, not being a tank top, is just too much clothing. But aside from that, we're gonna taste the cake. So you saw what it looked like. It smells really good. Here we go. Oh my God. I think my eyes rolled back far enough to give me brain damage. This is amazing. This is amazing. The cake, it's still slightly warm. It's totally soft and like yum. The crumb topping is crunchy and cinnamony and not overly sweet. Yum. All right, I highly recommend this. Definitely for fall, but absolutely any time of the year. I mean, for real, this is delicious. So I am going to eat some more and enjoy it. Okay, you guys, so I'm super excited that this actually turned out to be just as good as I thought it would be, as I thought it should be. It is really delicious. I highly recommend this. It's so good. But other than that, I am going to get it all wrapped up. I will probably have some more. And thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today on this Bake With Me. I hope you had a good time. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, the thumbs up. Yes, it's a laundry list. It's like a honey-do list for subscribers, for audience. I don't know. Anyway, I'm so glad you came and hung out today. So have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.